Hey everyone, my name is Wes, and welcome back to another episode of Terror Talk where I discuss creepy clips online. I created this original horror music to add to the video, and I hope you enjoy it. Be sure to leave your own comments, and when you're done watching, check the description if you'd like to listen to my music without the commentary. Now let's get into it and have some fun.
Deep in the woods in northern Germany, two friends were hiking in an area formerly territory of the German Democratic Republic when they came across these strange periscope-like pipes protruding from the ground. Feeling either brave or foolish, they decided to investigate further. They discovered a doorway hidden behind several bushes, covered by a large wooden lid. What they found hidden beneath the ground is a pretty disturbing piece of history. The doorway led to a huge abandoned army bunker. There were several tunnels leading off in different directions, which intersected along.
Would you have been brave enough to go down there and check things out? I don't know. Is that brave or is that stupid? Because I feel like I might have ventured a little bit, but I don't think I would have actually gone inside. Like, going inside is pretty crazy. But yeah, let me know what you would have done in this situation.
Central corridor. There were so many different directions to go that exploring the place felt like going through a maze to the two friends. They tried not to stray far away from each other in fear of getting lost. That's how big the place was. As they ventured deeper into the structure.
Yeah, I mean, going that deep into it is kind of stupid in my opinion, because you could get easily lost in there. Like, how would you find your way out if you went that deep? And yeah, if you went that deep in there, how would you find your way out? Let me know in the comments below. But I feel like this is pretty foolish to go this deep inside a structure like this. That's just my opinion though.
They came across German writing on the wall, which translated to help. Curiosity still got the better of them, and they continued deeper into the bunker. And as they did, the structure became more and more decayed. More writings were found on the walls, this time reading, "Hello Satan, I love you." Some of the rooms and corridors.
Whoa. Hello Satan, I love you? That's pretty satanic stuff, isn't it? I mean, these guys are either really brave or really foolish.
Were flooded and smelled like sewage. They made their way into a very large room with a strange machine in the center. It's very possible the previous occupants had fled the bunker in a hurry, as there was a single shoe still stuck in the sludge on the floor. Why wouldn't someone have time to grab one shoe unless they were in a hurry? The structure was believed to be an old military bunker, possibly used for shelter by the Nazis during World War II. But why did the soldiers seemingly leave in such a hurry? And whether they were the ones who had written the warning messages on the walls is unknown.
That was a pretty crazy little thing that they discovered, wasn't it? I mean, it was actually kind of a big thing. But yeah, I thought it was a cool story. And let's get on to this one now.
In this last story, for the person's safety, I'll refer to him as just Bill. Bill is an avid hiker who in 2016 was visiting his brother upstate New York near Downsville. Bill's brother owns a small house and a barn up there, and from time to time, Bill and other family members would go up to visit. This was in the late fall, and so the foliage was already mostly orange, and more than half of the leaves had fallen off the trees. Bill was hiking a narrow trail which was not far from his brother's place. This trail is in the middle of a very rural area, and it connects from the occasional property to property. So when Bill stumbled across a duffel bag on the ground in the middle of the woods, it was a surprise. The duffel bag looked like it was relatively new. It didn't look dirty, as if it had been sitting in the woods for an extended period of time. There was a foul odor emanating from the bag, however.
What would you do if you were out in the woods and you found a duffel bag like this? Would you go and explore it and maybe even open it? Or would you get the hell out of there? Especially if there's a foul smell emanating from it, that is not a good sign.
Like something rotting inside. Bill assumed the worst, but he knew he had to open the bag to see what's inside in case it actually could have been a person. He was building up the courage to open the zipper to the bag But before he could, he heard footsteps approaching from off the trail, and a voice saying, "That's mine, please don't touch it." A large man in a dirty jacket and jeans was quickly approaching from the woods and grabbed the duffel bag off the ground. The two exchanged looks for a moment. Bill told the man he assumed the bag was forgotten by someone, and the man told him he was storing his kill from his hunt in the bag. Even though Bill isn't a hunter, he knew it's standard to use a cooler for storing fresh kill, not a duffel bag of all things. This also wouldn't explain the foul smell so soon, as...
Yeah, that's pretty strange, isn't it? Why is he using a duffel bag and not a cooler, and why is it starting to reek like that? I would have to think that some body parts are probably in that duffel bag, wouldn't you? This could be a serial killer for all the guy knows.
Usually dead bodies only start to smell after a few days, not right after death. So he apologized and continued walking down the trail, with a little more speed in his step. It's likely the man noticed Bill's nervousness, because he heard the duffel bag get dropped on the floor as he was walking away. But as he looked back, he didn't see the man anymore. Bill nervously continued along the trail, taking out his phone to try to call his brother for an emergency pickup by the road, but he didn't have any reception in the woods. All he could do was press forward and avoid crossing paths with that man again. But as he continued on, he kept hearing leaves crunching from not far behind him, and any time he'd look back, the coast seemed clear. But eventually, his fear that he was being followed became real. He saw that man following him in the distance in a stalkerish manner, hiding behind a tree. Without thinking,
That's pretty creepy, isn't it? Now the guy is stalking him. Like, holy cow. It's time to get the hell out of there, but that would be pretty terrifying being stalked by this guy after that whole encounter with the duffel bag.
started to run as fast as he could down the trail. He knew he was being followed without even looking back because he could hear the leaves being crushed for not too far behind him. Bill came to an abandoned-looking property with overgrown grass, and having grown too winded to continue running, he attempted entry to the old house through the back door, and was able to get inside. Bill hid under a cot in the first bedroom he found, and he heard the back door open again, followed by heavy footsteps moving in a hurry. They went from room to room, and Bill could hear the man's heavy breathing from also being out of breath. The man's footsteps came into the bedroom just for a second and left right after. He didn't look under either of the two cots. Bill heard the back door to the house open and slam shut again, but he laid under the cot for another half an hour, not taking any risks. He only got up when he realized it would be dark soon, and he needed to get to a road to call for help.
Now that's how I feel like you should do things. The guy waited for a whole half an hour before he got up. And in a horror movie, what would usually happen is that they would literally wait 1 minute, just 1 minute or less, maybe even 30 seconds. They would get up and the guy is still hiding in the house somewhere, and then they're attacked. But this guy was smart and waited a whole half an hour, so props to him.
He proceeded to leave the house and run down the dirt trail by the house that was most likely once used as a driveway, which led him to a road. From here, he eventually hitched a ride with a passing car, who gave Bill a lift back to his brother's house, where Bill would call the local police department and report his encounter. Given the severity of the case, police would show up to the house to get a more detailed description of the man's face, the location it happened, and other information. Though it was never technically confirmed what was in that duffel bag, the rotting smell would already be clue enough. But the fact that the man so intently chased after Bill shows that he was hiding something that he didn't want any witnesses for, most likely dumping a dead body.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy, huh? That whole experience, you gotta be careful out there in the woods because you never do know what kind of sickos are lurking out there and doing only God knows what. And the poor victim, if it really was a dead body, whoever it is, I feel sorry for that person because no one deserves to be victim of that. But yeah, I thought these were a couple of creepy stories, and I hope you enjoyed my commentary and my music, and I will see you in the next video.